in this very near hour. My beloved child, an unexpected movement is coming toward your life, and I want you to pause and listen with peace. I, Michael, do not come to plant panic within you, nor do I come to make you chase a vague promise. I come to remind you that there are moments so small, yet capable of turning the direction of an entire long journey. Sometimes one decision, one encounter, one word, or one truth being unveiled is enough to change the way you see the next 10 years. Therefore, do not hurry past this message as though it has nothing to do with you. Invisible wheels have already begun to turn. Doors are being touched from the other side. And although your eyes have not yet seen it, the atmosphere around you is no longer the same as before. Let your heart become truly still, because what is coming does not necessarily have to appear with a loud sound. It may begin with a message, a phone call, an unexpected opportunity, a late confession, or an arrangement that causes you to realize the days behind you were not meaningless. There is someone in your story being stirred by what they once took lightly. They thought silence was safe enough, that time would quiet the emotion, that they could go on living as though you had never carried special meaning. But your worth does not disappear just because someone recognizes it too late. Now, in their quiet moments, your name returns like a gentle reminder they cannot avoid. I know you are tired from having to keep everything from falling apart on your own. You have become used to carrying responsibility, used to being strong when there was no other choice, used to smiling while inside you only wished someone would understand. But my beloved child, that season of loneliness is not your sentence. The long nights, the times you swallowed words you could not speak, the silent tears, and the days when you thought you no longer had enough strength to keep walking have all been seen. No pain has been forgotten. No endurance has been considered small. All of it has helped lead you to this sacred crossing point, where what was once delayed begins to find its way back to you in a new form. Perhaps you are feeling restless, as though there is a very quiet yet very clear call beating within your chest. Perhaps you cannot explain why you feel uneasiness mixed with expectation. Why old thoughts suddenly rise again. Why your heart feels as though it is standing before a threshold. Do not blame yourself for that feeling. It is not a sign of weakness, but the opening of awareness. When a new season approaches, something within you often senses it before outward circumstances have time to change. That stirring has not come to steal your peace, but to remind you to prepare. Gather back your attention and keep your heart pure before what is about to be revealed. Therefore, my child, walk with me to the end of this moment with discerning faith. Do not cling tightly to old fear, and do not hastily run after anything that does not bring peace. What truly belongs to you will come with clarity, respect, and light. A door may open, a truth may be exposed, and a blessing may find you at the very moment when you thought you had been forgotten. Keep your heart soft but awake. Keep your eyes turned toward what is pure, and remember that you are not walking alone. I am guarding you, and what is permitted to enter your life in this season will not come to break you, but to remind you that after every burden, there is still a new chapter written with tenderness. The moment when your story turns in a direction you never imagined is drawing very near. I, Michael, speak to you with gentleness, yet with authority. There are things that seem to have ended, but in truth, they were only being brought into a silent phase so that truth could mature. The one who once doubted you, once looked at you with distrust, once thought you could never move beyond the limits they placed upon you, is now being made to pause in astonishment. They see you rising. They see you doing things they never believed you could do. And in that silence, they begin to understand that they misjudged someone upheld by heaven. My beloved child, do not allow someone's return to throw your heart into confusion. Someone is now facing the emptiness they themselves created when they left you. They once told others they were fine, that they no longer cared, that your absence did not move them. But when night falls and all the noise outside grows quiet, your final words return to their memory like a bell that cannot be silenced. What they tried to deny before the world is being exposed in their most hidden place. Not so that you become self-satisfied, but so you may understand that your sincerity was never meaningless. Some people only recognize the value of the light after they have stepped out of that light themselves. They thought losing you was a small thing, then discovered that your presence had brought more peace than they were able to admit. Now within them is an urge difficult to resist, a prompting that makes them think about returning through a call, a message, or an unexpected appearance. But remember, not every return is restoration, and not every regret is enough to reopen a door. I want you to listen with wisdom, not with lack. What is about to be revealed will be a confirmation of what you have sensed for a long time. You once wondered whether your intuition was wrong, whether the quiet stirrings within you were merely imagination or a reminder from the higher realm. I tell you, you have not been forgotten. The days you were misunderstood, the times you were overlooked, and the moments when you had to hold your own sadness have all been seen. Not one drop of your patience has been lost in emptiness. Not one act of kindness has been erased from the sacred book of remembrance. Therefore, when the sign draws near, stand in peace. Do not rush after it, and do not close your heart because you fear being hurt again. Let truth come before you through clear action, humble words, and the respect you deserve. You are chosen not to be drawn back into old cycles, but to step into a new level of understanding about your worth. I am beside you to remind you, what belongs to you will not require you to beg for it to stay. What is true will find its way back in the light. And what is unworthy will leave you according to the order of heaven. Even I had to grow silent before the way you still kept your character when the things around you fell, one after another. My beloved child, I saw the seasons when betrayal came near, as though it wanted to turn your heart into barren ground. Yet you did not allow pain to make you a copy of those who wounded you. There were promises delayed for so long that you thought you had been forgotten. Yet you still did not turn your face away from the light. There were nights when loneliness whispered that you had no one left, nowhere to lean, no reason to continue. And still, you did not completely release your hold on faith. There were times when you trembled, when you felt you had only one thin breath left to keep walking. But from the deepest place within you, a gentle pull still brought you back near me. I, Michael, watched you not with cold judgment, but with the mercy of one who always stands near those being tested. When you thought no one noticed how hard you were trying, heaven still recorded every quiet choice you made, the times you swallowed tears so you would not answer with bitterness. The times you chose silence, so you would not create more wounds. The times you remained kind, even though you were falling apart inside, all of it did not disappear. You thought you were merely existing from day to day. But in the eyes of heaven, you were enduring a refinement that not everyone has the softness and perseverance to complete. What I found in you was not flawless perfection. I was not searching for a heart that had never feared, never doubted, never weakened in the dark. What I found was far more precious, a faithfulness still breathing beneath the ashes, a faith fragile yet refusing to go out, an uprightness that still chose to remain even when circumstances gave every reason to give up. When ease left you, your true nature did not vanish. When praise was absent, you still tried to live rightly. When no one stood beside you to comfort you, you still tried not to fall into hatred. That is rare, my child, because many only keep their gentleness when life treats them gently. More than that, you learned a lesson not everyone is willing to learn. Humility, even when you had reason to raise yourself up. You have had quiet victories, moments when you could have displayed how much you endured, how you were misunderstood, how unfairly you were treated. But you still chose not to turn pain into a throne for the ego. You let maturity speak in place of self-defense. You let peace slowly answer what had once been distorted. And even after being wounded, I still saw compassion within you, the ability to wish good without returning to the place that hurt you. Therefore, hear me remind you with gentleness and authority, you are not as ordinary as your exhaustion once made you believe. The combination of endurance, humility, faithfulness, and compassion is a rare mark. Not everyone hears this, because not everyone is willing to pass through fire and still keep the light within. You were not perfect, but you were sincere. You were not always strong, but you returned. You did not walk through every day with a song, but you still did not allow darkness to have the final word. And because of this, I call you the one preserved, the one being lifted, the one heaven has quietly seen for a long time. The world is entering a great transformation, and you will feel that change not only outside you, but also in every hidden movement of your life. My beloved child, I, Michael, draw near to remind you not to be afraid when everything around you begins to change form. There are seasons permitted to shake in order to awaken those who have slept too long. There are doors that must close so that something higher can open. There are upheavals that seem to confuse you, yet are actually bringing you out of the old place where you no longer belong. What is about to happen is not meaningless disruption, it is an ordered arrangement. An invitation for you to step into a higher level of maturity, peace, and recognition. I know you have seen many signs, even when you could not name them. You feel life moving faster. Things once delayed suddenly beginning to shift. Relationships once unclear beginning to reveal their nature. And questions once forgotten being brought into the light. That is not coincidence. When heaven begins to open a new season, everything hidden is stirred. Those who deliberately moved away from righteousness, treated the sacred lightly, and chose a path against truth will feel pressure increase. Not because the Most High desires to destroy them, but because every choice has its harvest season. But you, the one who endured in silence, the one who still tried to keep your heart soft through heavy days, are being prepared for a different portion of blessing. Therefore, do not measure your future by the slow months that have passed. There are seasons when you thought you were being left behind. But in truth, you were being protected from things that had not yet matured. There were answers that did not arrive, not because you were forgotten, but because your timing needed to be guarded. Now the rhythm is changing. Doors once tightly shut may open faster than you think. People who were once silent may suddenly speak. Opportunities that once seemed distant may come near in a way you could not arrange by your own strength. I do not say this so that you become rushed, but so that you learn to be ready. This change will not only touch your circumstances, it will touch how you see yourself, how you walk, and how you decide what is allowed to remain in your life. You will no longer fit in places that make you small. You will no longer feel peace with habits that once kept you stagnant. You will no longer easily compromise with things that dim the light within you. When a new season opens, your old self can no longer hold control as before. That is why you may feel both urged, purified, and drawn out of familiar things. Let that process be completed in peace. I am here to comfort you that what is coming is not meant to lead you astray, but to bring you into clarity after long days of waiting. Keep your heart pure, your words gentle, your steps awake, and your eyes able to recognize signs. When everything accelerates, do not run after chaos, follow the light. When opportunity opens, do not step in with fear, step in with gratitude. When the answer appears, do not doubt your value. Remember that you have long been prepared for this moment. Something new is rising before you, and this time, I want you to recognize it with a courageous, peaceful, and trusting heart. Deep within you, perhaps for some time, you have felt an unseen prompting, quietly awakening you from the things that once caused you to sleep in old habits. My beloved child, I am Michael, the one sent to stand beside you in this hour of movement. And I want you to understand that those strange stirrings are not signs of breaking apart. There were nights when you suddenly woke without knowing why. Moments when your heart grew heavy in the middle of an ordinary conversation, and old joys suddenly became faded like a garment that no longer fits you. Do not be afraid. This is not you losing yourself. This is you being called out of layers that have become too narrow, so that you may step into deeper awakening. The things that once satisfied you can no longer hold you because something within you has begun to hear a higher rhythm. The noise of the world suddenly feels heavy. Passing pleasures suddenly leave an emptiness behind, and familiar paths no longer bring the peace they once did. I know you have wondered whether you are becoming strange, whether you are too sensitive, whether you are moving too far away from everyone. But my child, when light begins to touch a person, that person cannot continue living as though they had never been awakened. No longer being satisfied with the old is not a loss. It is a sign that you are being led into a new depth. This shift is not happening by accident. It is being arranged with the gentle yet powerful precision of heaven. Things you once thought were firm may tremble. Systems that many depended upon may reveal their fragility, and false values will no longer be able to hide their true nature. But do not let this throw your heart into panic. The shaking has not come to swallow you, but to help you recognize where the true foundation is. When all the noise outside becomes chaotic, the one rooted in purpose, uprightness, and faith will not be easily swept away. You may look at yourself and say that you are not ready. You may think you do not know enough. are not strong enough, are not worthy enough to step into what is being entrusted to you. But I want you to hear this clearly. Heaven does not seek perfect people to use. Heaven upholds those who respond to the call with humility. What matters is not whether you have every answer, but whether you are willing to take one more step in trust. The Most High does not measure you by appearance, achievement, or the praise of people. He looks at sincerity, endurance, and the small lamp still burning within you after many long nights. Therefore, my beloved child, do not try to return to the old sleep just because awakening makes you feel alone. Once truth has touched you, you do not need to pretend you do not know. Step forward, not to seek fame, not to be applauded, and not to prove you are above anyone, but to become a lamp of peace in a time when many are losing direction. When hardship comes, you will not be left alone. When everything shakes, protection will still cover you. Stand firm in softness. Be courageous in humility, and shine with the light that was placed in you from before. This is not the time for you to shrink back in fear. This is the time for you to recognize that you were prepared for this very moment. You have been seeking clarity, a complete closure, and a shift large enough to carry you out of the fog that has lasted too long. My beloved child, quiet your heart and listen, because what is coming is not merely an unexpected moment, but an unveiling arranged so that you no longer have to guess in the darkness of doubt. There are things that were hidden because the timing was not ripe. Words that were not spoken because people were still afraid. And truths that were held back until your heart became steady enough to see them without breaking. But now the veil is beginning to grow thin, and what once troubled you will gradually appear in a way you cannot deny. I know you are tired of wondering whether you misunderstood every signal. You once looked at their silence and blamed yourself for hoping too much. You once saw them distant, cold, or pretending to be calm, and you convinced yourself that perhaps everything you felt was only an illusion. But my child, not every silence is empty. Sometimes silence is the place where a person is fighting the very thing they do not dare to admit. They tried to fill their days with other things, tried to direct their mind elsewhere, tried to behave as though you no longer affected them. Yet some paths that seem to turn far away eventually return before the same door, and that door bears your mark. In this time, avur, a message, an unexpected action, or an unforeseen revelation will clarify what you have been waiting for. I do not say this to make you impatient, nor do I want you to lose peace by watching for every small sign. I say it so that you may prepare in stillness. When the truth appears, you must look with eyes that have been healed, not with old fear. It may be a late apology. It may be an acknowledgement they once buried deep. It may be a secret spoken aloud, or a moment that causes everyone around to realize what you have felt for a long time. However it comes, it will open a streak of light where you once saw only uncertainty. Remember, you are not present in this season by accident. The recent days of silence were not punishment, but preparation so that you would no longer stand in the old position when truth is revealed. I have lifted you quietly, taught you self-respect, taught you to wait without losing dignity, taught you to love without begging for recognition. Therefore, when the unexpected draws near, do not run after it from lack. And do not close your heart out of fear. Stand firm in your light, because you are no longer the one who has to beg to be seen. What you have been waiting for is drawing very near. But the true blessing is not only in the message, the confession, or the return of someone. The greater blessing is that you will step out of the shadows with a new understanding of your worth. When truth is revealed, your future will no longer hang suspended in old questions. Your position is being lifted. Your path is being illuminated. And the good things that were once scattered are beginning to gather again. Keep your heart at peace, because I am near, and I will not allow you to miss what has been arranged to lead you into a new beginning. You cannot yet see everything that is drawing near, but I tell you that a great surprise is quietly finding its way to you. It does not come with loud noise, nor does it come to throw you into confusion, but like the wind of a changing season, gentle yet strong enough to cause everything familiar in your life to begin moving. There is a call moving toward your name, a heart trembling before things buried for too long. That person was once afraid to face the truth, once chose silence instead of honesty, once hid emotion behind incomplete words. But my child, not everything hidden can exist forever. Some things grow stronger the more they are pressed down, until even the one keeping them secret no longer has the strength to run. I know you were once wounded by that silence. You once wondered whether you misunderstood, whether you gave too much, whether what you felt was real or only the echo of hope. But hear me with peace. What is returning is not here to pull you into the old cycle, but to bring the clarity you once prayed for. A message may appear when you are no longer waiting. A call may ring at the moment when you have learned calmness. An opportunity may open after days when it seemed every door had closed. It may also be an awakening within you, causing you to suddenly understand that your worth never depended on whether someone else recognized it. The one who once took you lightly is beginning to see what they overlooked. The one who once hurt you is carrying a remorse that is not easy to name. The one who once stood from afar, quietly watching, is now being urged to step out from the region of fear and speak what they have kept hidden. But, my beloved child, I do not want you to look only toward them. I want you to look at yourself in this moment. You went through days when you needed answers and still did not abandon gentleness. You passed through nights full of questions and still did not allow your heart to become bitter. That is the quiet miracle blooming within you. Therefore, when the sign comes, receive it with awareness, not haste. Do not let old pain cause you to lock the door before something good. But do not let the longing to be loved make you forget wisdom either. I am teaching you to distinguish between what returns to heal and what returns only to test whether you are still as easy to wound as before. You have the right to listen, but you also have the right to keep your peace. You have the right to forgive. But you do not need to lose the boundaries built by tears and maturity. There is a reason this reminder has found you today. You are in the middle of a strong yet very gentle movement, where things that seem distant begin to find their way back to truth, and things that were once unclear begin to appear under pure light. I, Michael, am standing near you as a merciful guardian, not allowing you to enter the new season in confusion. Be calm, my beloved child. What is coming is not meant to frighten you, but to remind you that you are still seen, still treasured, and still being led into a chapter of life better than what you once thought you deserved. Do not hurry away from this message, my beloved child, because important things are often opened at the very moment you think you are about to pass them by. I, Michael, call you with gentleness, but also with the solemnity of heaven. Stay a little longer. Not so you will be held by curiosity, but so you may be prepared for a clarity drawing near. There are people who leave right before the door opens, hearts that give up just as light begins to fall upon their path. But you are different. You have passed through too many seasons of waiting, too many times asking why everything remained silent, only to turn away today before the answer has time to touch you. In the atmosphere around you, a movement is taking place. Someone is remembering you more than they want to admit. They once tried to fill their mind with work, other conversations, busyness, and a calm appearance, as though you had never left a deep mark within them. But the more they tried to forget, the more the memory of you returned with quiet strength. Even a small moment can remind them of your voice, your presence, the way you cared, or the wounded silence when you were no longer there as before. What they thought they could bury is now rising again, not to hurt you further, but so that truth will no longer be kept in darkness. Understand that what is coming is not only a message, an apology, or a late statement. It may be the starting point of the clarity you have prayed for over a long time. Someone is preparing to speak what they once hid. Someone is being urged to face the part of the truth they avoided. Someone is about to admit a mistake, reveal emotion, or expose something that helps you understand why things have been so tangled for so long. When it is brought into the light, the pieces that once lay scattered within your heart will begin to find their place again. But I want you to receive this with steadiness, not haste. Do not place all of your peace upon one person's reaction. Do not allow whether a message arrives or not to determine your worth. What is gathering around you is larger than a conversation. It is the season in which your honor is restored. Misunderstanding slowly dissolves, and blessings that remained quiet for a long time begin to find their way back to the right place. You were not forgotten in the silent months. You were being preserved, realigned, and strengthened enough not to lose yourself when the door opens. Therefore, keep faith with awareness. Observe the signs with peaceful eyes, and do not be afraid when life begins to change direction. Your future is growing less blurred. The path before you is becoming clearer, and what once confused you will no longer have the same power to bind you. I am standing near you, guarding you from haste, from empty promises, and from returns that do not carry sincerity. What is truly sent to you will come with light, clarity, and respect. Stay in faith, my beloved child, because at this very turning point, your story is beginning to move onto a new page you have not yet fully imagined.